Hey y'all, what's going on this Tuesday bizarre market that we're experiencing again? So market are really on the fence just because tomorrow is kind of gonna make or break day for the entire economy and for the state of the direction for the next steps to go for the entire market. So we had it's no surprise that AMC stock it's also kind of caught up in the mix of all of that. But with all the fear out there, with all the FUD, uncertainty, and doubt out there, I want us to kind of look at something really interesting that Forbes, Forbes, this huge media outlet just popped out there when it comes to GameStop and AMC. GameStop and AMC shares fluctuate amongst volatile market with an impending short squeeze predicted. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but pretty much what they're saying here is we may not be far from a squeeze coming into AMC and GameStop. And this is something that at some point will have to happen. But the fact that this is coming from Forbes, and I guess, I'm not pretty entirely sure, but I'm guessing that this is the first time Forbes is actually publishing such an article that is actually talking about a forthcoming squeeze on AMC and GameStop. And one of the reasons that they are kind of lining out, one of the reasons that they are highlighting to back up this theory is the whole thing about what caused the short sellers to double down on AMC stock or the GameStop and meme stocks to begin with. Something that happened and started back in January in 2020. It makes sense back then to actually be short those companies because nobody was actually going to movie theaters and everybody was locked down. But since 2021, things gradually and now once and for all definitely are crushing that whole theory. And that is exactly what Forbes is using in order to kind of make this prediction around the short squeeze coming for AMC. When you also look at the market reacting the way it is reacting for the last 5 days. The last 5 days, the S&P 500 has been down 10%. Based on what? Well, based on what the Federal Reserve might do, whether it's 50 basis points raise, whether it's 75, maybe if it's 1%, for sure it's going to shock the system. For those of you who may not be aware of this, for the last 15 to 20 years, the entire stock market has always been operating on short interest rates. No interest rate, like 0%, close to 0%. And now that we have a gradual, incremental, rapid interest rate increase from the US Central Bank, what do you think is going to happen to all of those people having huge margin debt? Have you seen what happened to the crypto space? This is exactly what I'm talking about. So when you add that to the actual environment, into stocks, into the economy, into crypto, into real estate, all of those assets are some assets that are pretty much huge, a huge weight when it comes to the same companies that are shorting AMC stock. So no surprise that Forbes is actually calling on to a squeeze to come for stocks like GameStop and AMC, but it's just a matter of time because we know this is inevitable. It's inevitable for them. So we just need to be patient and wait for our time to come because it's definitely coming.